Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. Before we start, well, first of all, it's Ready to Love. Season 7, Episode 6. The math ain't mathin'. We already know who said that, because the math won't mathing. Well, we'll come to that conclusion. Housekeeping rules. Please don't forget to like the video coming in. I apologize off the top. It's been a long weekend through the week. It's able to sit down now and record. Forgive me, I'm gonna throw it up. Mercy. Second, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think about what happened, what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. And most importantly, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. All right, so let's start with it. So last week we left off with a cliffhanger where they had the three ladies lined up. I believe it was Jeffrey, Marcia, I don't remember the third one, but y'all remember the third one. Anyway, so it turns out this week, Corvea gets kicked off. Am I surprised? No, but I'd like to draw some parallels. So the general consensus for Corvea was that they believe she was a gold digger, but I'd like to explore it. Allow me to play devil's advocate. I believe she was a woman who wasn't ashamed or didn't allow society to shame her in saying what she wants. She said what she wanted and she went for it. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I didn't find her to be particularly rude. I didn't find her to be particularly condescending. I just thought she was pegged into a hole and just wasn't able to get out of it. And I think more importantly is that the men who couldn't meet her expectations were the ones who felt threatened most by her or offended most by her, because I don't believe she was rude to anyone. She just said what she wanted. She meant what she said and she said what she meant. Is that something wrong? Was that necessarily aggressive? No. Was that necessarily masculine? No, it was just a matter of fact. She just stated, and I think I want to say good for her, because where she is right now, she stays, because I don't believe she said, oh, he has to be, the billionaire, has to have 3 jets, but there was an expectation of a baseline requirement of what she thought he would meet. And I would like to repeat myself, I think that's only fair. Because if you start playing, because I feel that at this point in time in society, a lot of women are being shamed into declaring what they want. Now you're expected to almost deny what you want and settle. That's the theme I keep hearing. Like when I go, just look around, you listen to TV, radio, social media, there are 2 schools of thought, and it's getting louder, where the expectation that we had of men, or the standard we had or have for them, we're expected to lower them. And so I'd liken her rejection or her elimination to real life. I would like to say that if you're in a situation where you've been turned down, you've been rejected by someone, I'd like to say take heart, because it's nothing to do with you but more to do with them. The issue with Corvea had nothing to do with who Corvea was. It was that they fell short. Since they fell short of her expectations, they immediately got to a point where they were able to eliminate her. Not because she wasn't beautiful, not because she wasn't smart, and not even just for the mere fact that they couldn't meet her standards, they couldn't meet her expectations. They felt less than. And in order to continue to feel that they weren't less than, they decided to eliminate her. I'm not saying that was the wrong choice at the point in time. It may have been the right choice, but I just wanted to liken it to real life. Don't let the general public, the general voice, or the masses dictate to you what you want. Because I'm sure that if Corvea stays on course, she'll get what she wants, and there's nothing wrong with her wanting what she wants, period, because men do it too. I don't see a man going to choose a woman and saying, well, I really would like someone who's of athletic build and who's pretty, but then turn around and pick someone who is not athletic build and someone he doesn't consider pretty, or someone he's not attracted to. I don't see them being told to choose what they're not attracted to, but then on the offhand, we are sometimes told to pick what we're not attracted to, because we're considered to be too picky or being too choosy. After the tough elimination, they decide to not end the night there. They decide they're going to go to, I think it was Hard Rock Cafe, which was by the waterside. And once again, I'm not trying to come from Blake, but it looked like Blake was trying to secure his spot. He quickly gets, Miss Suan, pulls her to the side. Just to, how you feeling? What's going on? I believe that was just an effort for him to feel her out, find out what happened, or maybe he had been told by the producer that something went down between her and Jeffrey. So he was asked to, it could be all about filming. But anyway, I just feel like he just was reconfirming, yo, we still good. Like, if it comes to eliminations, you got me, because I got you. They have first date of the episode, Anthony and Cynthia. Once again, Cynthia consistently appears to me to be appearing authentic. Just she's being exactly who she is. Like I've said, I think in prior episodes, even if she doesn't end up with someone on the show, she's going to end up with someone off the show, because real recognize real, and she'll get exactly what she wants, because I think she's just refreshingly herself. Whoever that might be, she just seems to be open, and everyone that sits down with her tends to really enjoy that. All right, next scene. We've been expecting this. We saw this last week. Demario and Jeffrey. So finally, Demario decides to meet up with, they decide to have like a coffee date, so they meet up. So, first of all, he's coming to her, talk about, he was being a little, might I say, a little passive aggressive. He didn't come out and say exactly what he was feeling. He was like, he was kind of beating around the bush. It was actually Jeffrey who said, oh, what did you think about the game? Because she knew exactly where he was going. So my first issue is, one, he couldn't even, who invited who, he couldn't stand up and say, I had an issue with this. She had to tease it out of him. That was the first issue I had. Because if you have an issue, speak, communicate. I don't think my issue is with him having an issue. My issue is with him not even being able to speak up. So finally she brings it up. And even then, he's not even really, in my opinion, able to articulate himself. And more importantly, I don't think Demario understands the process he signed up for. Plain and simple. Jeffrey even attempts to address, in my opinion, and say, you know what? We were on the ship, we were on the yacht, and you really didn't speak with me. So when it got to the point where they're playing that game, she immediately called the name of somebody who she was still connecting to. She mentioned that he had, Mark Anthony was intentionally in pursuit of her, and so she obliged by picking him for the kiss. Even in the midst of that, it didn't look like Demario was listening. He still felt, how bad I feel like he was just playing victim. Because I feel like this is season 7, might I say season 8. If you don't know how it's played now, then you're really wasting your time and everybody else's time. It's not over until it's over. There should be an understanding. But like I said, I think I'd said earlier on that I felt like he was playing a role, trying not to be so straight-laced, but really he is straight-laced, and this is not the medium for him. And he's proven that today. This is not the medium for him. It's not for everyone. It's not for me. So I'm not judging him. I think I'm judging him for I'm not judging him for being himself. I'm judging him for actually signing up for this process, knowing that he couldn't hang. He couldn't hang. Because all of a sudden he's sulking like a kid. Sulking, he couldn't even get it out. But eventually we see his sulking. I think there was a point that Jeffrey had brought up. She was bringing to his attention that there appeared to be a lapse in their communication. They had a great date, maybe 2 episodes ago. And in all that time, he hadn't really kept up. He wasn't listening to that. He didn't hear that. He still kept playing, being on the offense. And then he went as far as saying, what do you think your kids would, that's immature. What do you think your kids would feel or think if they see her on television doing that? That's, what did Will Smith say? Keep my beep, beep, beep kids out of your mouth. That's how I feel with that, because I don't know you like that, sir. So keep my kids out of it. So you are acting so wounded that you're lashing out, and you bring her kids into it. That right there, you already signed the death warrant, death of the relationship that is, or death of the connection that is. Because who wants to be somebody as petty and immature as that, with an inability to articulate or communicate? Demario. Then insult on top of injury. in his behind the scenes little cubicle conversation, where then he starts criticizing her. Yeah, he hasn't seen her without makeup. All right, now he's just simply confirming what I just said 1 minute ago. Childish, immature, and he's acting like a victim. And that feature is not attractive in any human being, but it's so much less attractive in a male. It's so far from being masculine. Mean what you say what you mean. Like why did he say that to her face? Why is it after the fact, when he realizes he has used his own hand to sabotage the connection with her, that now he's seen that he hasn't seen her without makeup? You didn't know that before you met her? You didn't know that before the first day? You didn't know that after the first day? You didn't know all of that until now, when there's a misunderstanding, issue, red flag. Now, of course, he might be a lovely person, but right now on this show, we've seen one dimensional DeMario, and it's not flattering. It's not flat, and that's the issue with these shows. His one dimension has not been flattering today. So next date. So Marcia, for this episode, I'm sure it's the producers that put her up to make her messy Marcia today, because Marcia sets up a double date with her, Jeffrey, Blake, and Blue. Now she's interested in Blue, but she brings Blake along. Yeah, they want to get things going. They know there's some misunderstanding between the two, and they want to tease it out. Blue already, who appears to stay above the cuff, already said that this is going to look like it's going to be like strenuous and, you know, a little strained because of the tension between Blake and Jeffrey. So here goes. It's meant to be the meditation. They've got like the sound board, and consistently, that might not be everybody's thing, but consistently, once again, you have Blake and everybody else soothe. His excuse, he was right next to the bowls. I don't know, but he consistently, whether it's intentional or unintentional, shows us that, yo, something ain't right. Different strokes for different folks, but something just doesn't swirl the right way. Like something's up. Like most people have no issue with the bowl. He bugging out because of the bowls. So after the meditation, they go into some art piece where they're meant to be. It's almost like a mood vision board. Just kind of tell who they are. Marcia's mood vision board seemed to be all over the place, but just things she liked. Blake's vision board was plastered with timepieces. Time is this, time is that. Now, you know, if you look at his background, military background, something to do with security, something to do with military police, all this, okay, I get it. There's everything's on time, but it's so structured. Yeah, I'm not sure who he would gel with, but I don't think anybody there is trying to gel with, you know, trying to live with a police officer. I'm sorry. I don't know who else wants to live with a police officer. So right now, even his mood art was like, Blue's mood art was kind of cute, you know, it made it 3D, a little twist to that, and both the ladies liked that. Of course, what's her name's Jeffrey's mood vision board was about family, just what you would expect. Nothing to see here, folks. Just that Blake's was just like simply put another piece to the puzzle. So, you know, beware what you're buying if you're going with Blake. I think there was at one point when Blake was presenting his mood board. So I don't disagree with what Jeffrey said, but I don't think it was Jeffrey's place to say it. Talk about, don't give him grounds to say anything. Yeah, his mood vision board was a little like it was plastered with, which is a little odd, but just let him be. Once again, maybe she's doing that so, you know, because this is a TV show as well. It's not real life, so maybe in real life she wouldn't have said anything. But I'm like, yeah, I agree with you, but maybe it wasn't your place or your time to say. Just let him be. Don't make him feel more important than he already feels, because clearly he's battling with an ego, but behind that ego is a huge insecurity, which is why he leads with his ego. So next date is Tony and Morgan. Like, we already know, you and I, in fact even Stevie Wonder can see, yeah, there's a connection between, there's a budding, let me not jump the gun, there's a budding connection between Tony and Morgan, without a doubt. You know, Morgan's trying to play it cool, but then sometimes you can see it will pop up. Tony's always playing cool, but it's clear that they're both coming towards each other. So it gets to a point, what were they talking about? Oh, so they're just talking about just general things. And I've always said that since people understand the process, when you're in the company of somebody else, why talk about somebody else? We already know this stuff is going on behind the scenes. So I think Morgan tries to bring up somebody. Oh yeah, I like Lyndon. I love Tony's response. Like, he don't get, like, that's gonna undo me, man. We're going through this process, and it's not what the fat lady is saying. So yeah, I don't need to know about that, and that's what I love, and that's what I've been saying. Since you know it's a process you have to go through, let them deal with their process. Just when you're with that person, connect on that person. So he was like, forget the others. Me, yeah, Tony. I mean, the connection looks interesting because they're both kind of playing coy, but yeah, what they're coming up with is definitely going to be something we're enjoying. Like, I'm definitely enjoying the little play, and we're just, you know, Tony doesn't let her little games bother him, like her little jabs, or he doesn't let her see that her little jabs bother him. There's another date, Blake and Jonique. Right now, I think I've seen Blake on 2 or 3 dates. First date, he was with the young lady Z. First episode, I want to say, and it was so awkward. I was wondering, okay, could it? No, he blamed it. Not even I was wondering. He blamed it on Z. But subsequent dates later, there's continued to be this awkwardness, which we're now convinced, you and I are convinced, that the awkwardness comes from him. Sits with Jonique. Jonique is bubbly. She's just trying to make him cool, but yeah, he's just, in Jonique's words, standoffish. Why are you in this process? What do you want? So it just makes me still believe Jeffrey. I mean, the Jeffrey thing has now fallen apart, but like, he showed up for filming. He didn't show up for the date. That's what it looks like to me. Jonique asked a simple question. So, you know, tell me, you know, something real general, because it's chit chat. Well, that's too general to answer. Like, sir, like, you're admitting, you know, it's a day thing. Just chat until you can get something going. Clearly, I'm not a fan of Blake's, but I'm trying to give him rope just to reveal who he is, because we really are 3-dimensional people, and it takes time to sometimes tease it out. Sometimes people are not, you know, comfortable in front of cameras, but Blake consistently just makes it hard. What's that song? I think it's Lauryn Hill. If it could be so easy, why make it so hard? I can't get the melody. Like, why make it so hard? Just play along. Just, you know, just be. He's not being. He's just like, So she gets him to ask him about him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Blake fan, clearly. So now with the ladies' lounge, it's time to deliberate, decide who are the guys that are, or who is the guy? The guys that are going to be at the bottom, and the one who's going to be eliminated. They get talking about their different dates. It seems like, you know, Anthony, the NP, seems to be a budding favorite. I didn't notice that. We haven't seen that hasn't been shown on TV yet, but apparently he's a budding favorite. But anyway, it gets to a point where Jeffrey talks about her connection with Mark Anthony, and then I don't know when Suan clips in that, oh, I thought you said you had a connection with Blake. Now that part, maybe Suan, I don't know, but clearly there are lots of edits that, you know, there's a lot of editing that goes on, so I don't know what transpired before Suan said that. But once again, and I said that before, I don't like to see the two women sparring. One, they're sparring. Two is over him. That one. Like, if she like it, I love it, but you know, I'd rather not. So I wish Suan hadn't said anything and just let it be, because clearly, you know, it's dead between Jeffrey and Blake. So why are we constantly rehashing it as a storyline or something to talk about? It's dead in the water. It's been 86th. Let's leave. But I don't want to see them go back and forth again, because I'm going to be bored by this, and I'm a little disappointed. Like, everybody focus on individual connections. Let Blake be wherever Blake's going to be, and y'all stop asking her about him. And you know, that's it. Like, dead it. That's how I feel. Like, it just makes me, because they seem to be like two nice ladies. I like them individually, but when they start sparring, it just makes me just want to switch off the screen, because I hate to see women do that. One, just disagree over something that's so trivial. Really, it's trivial. 1, 2, and then that guy's name's included in it, because he's just sitting there feeling like someone. So yeah, they in a different situation, maybe they could be friends, but just because of this, now they're sparring. I don't like it. So anyway, they get to the elimination date, so we know Blake is in the bottom 2 again. Might I add, this might be the 3rd time, Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the third time. And so Blake meets up with Cynthia this time. Demario crosses on the bottom 2 and he meets up with Journey. Long and short, we already know when they put those two, we know they're sending Demario home because Demario is not connected to anyone. He blew up his last connection with Jeffrey and then tried to text it back together again like the night before. Yeah, he don't even know how to play chess. If he was a good chess player, what he would have done is when they met for that coffee date, he should come with a different energy. But he didn't. He was acting like a little schoolboy in the yard, fighting for his toys. She's not a toy. So he sent himself home, real talk. So we already know he was going home. But apparently he was shocked. Like, how was he shocked? But we knew this. Tomorrow you're going to have to work hard at this because I'm sure you're really good at your day job. But I don't think anybody watching that had any doubt who's going to go home. I'm sorry. Blake is still fighting because he's still got, Suan batting for him. And then Cynthia meets. Cynthia, of course, always, I love her smooth way. She starts off gentle, you're this, you're that, I get you, but you're going to need to change your ways. Boom. Like, she really says in such a way that I don't know if he's receiving it because he doesn't want to come off combative. But anyway, it's a way to receive it. He's going to need to change. She kept it straight with him. But the insincerity that is Blake, he goes on to say, well, this is one of the most meaningful convos I've ever had. Well, what about the conversations you've been having with Suan? Like, those weren't meaningful? Like, it's unnecessary. Like, meaningful. You're just trying to get through the elimination, find out if you're going to be eliminated or not. Why is it that important to you? My friend, go home. Yeah, so here we are at the end, and I'm just, once again, Blake has been saved. Blake, I don't know how much longer we can save you. Like, I don't think there's anybody else that needs to go next for the next elimination, male elimination, other than you. But you've got another 2 weeks to go. Grace. The Lord is giving you grace. I don't know, you might end up showing us another side that might make you endearing. But sir, this is episode 6, and I don't think anybody's enjoyed a minute of you other than some of the contestants on the show. And here we are at the end of episode 6. Y'all, please don't forget to like, comment, or hit the subscribe button. Lola, over and out.